Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today is the start of my first Disis19 Diaries for May. So I am still participating in the 48-hour Bookish Game of Life Readathon that's being hosted by Amy at A Star Reads for her 1,000 subscriber celebration. So I will put the prompt roll from last night in this clip right here so that you can see what the prompt was, and then I will be back with you afterwards to tell you how we're going to decide what book we're going to read for that prompt. So here is Amy's spin, and I'll be back with you.
So we'll see where we're gonna go for prompt number 3. 3, okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, koi or challenge. All right. So I'm gonna grab my koi cup. I'm gonna pick a book from it, and that'll be the book that I read because I have to. However, the way that this prompt is gonna work is that you're gonna take all the books that you want to read right now, the ones that you're most excited about, make it at least 10 books, randomize it, and pick one of those 10 books. Here's my trusty little quiz.
Okay, so the prompt was a challenge. So we're supposed to pick 10 books and then do a random number generator. So since it is the beginning of May, I'm going to go ahead and pull some of the books that I have on my TBR for the month. And so we'll go through them and we'll just stack them up as so. So number 10 will be Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Call. Number 9 will be Vacancy by K.R. Alexander. Number 8 will be The Undrowned by K.R. Alexander. Number 7, The Collected by K.R. Alexander, but if I get this one, I will be reading The Collector, which is listed up here. The Collector is the first book in this duology. And then I have The Fear Zone by K.R. Alexander as number 6. The Doll Graveyard by Lois Ruby as number 5. Follow Me by K.R. Alexander for number 4. Haunt Me by K.R. Alexander for number 3. Bury Me by K.R. Alexander for number 2. And number 1 will be R.L. Stine's Twisted. So I have my random number generator here. So you can see I have 1 to 10. And let's generate 2. So that is Bury Me. So I will be reading this for the prompt. It doesn't seem too bad, and it is a middle grade. So I shouldn't have too much of an issue with that. And I'm really looking forward to this one. Truth be told, I kind of wanted Vacancy because that is the one that is calling to me at the moment. But this one definitely sounds interesting as well. So I will be reading this as my first book for May. Hopefully I will finish it today because I think Amy's readathon ends today. She may be doing one more spin in the morning. You can probably see that it is 2:45 about in the morning, and my voice is going out, and so yeah, I am going to settle in, but I won't be reading this quite yet because I do still need to catch up on the other prompt because I was so busy editing my other videos. So I am actually going to start with Millennium Snow to take care of yesterday's morning prompt. So this is for a book with flowers on the cover. So I'm going to tuck in with this, and then I will check back with you a bit later in the day, hopefully, if not very early tomorrow morning, and see how I got on with the readathon. So I hope you're all having a good one, and I will talk to you in a bit. Hi everyone, it is Tuesday, May 2nd, and I just wanted to come on and share with you something that I got in the mail today. So my friend Janaea over at Live 1,000 Lives, she was hosting a giveaway, I think it was in April, and I won. So I received my package today, and so she was sending me one of her favorite books, and so she gave me 5, I think, of her favorite series and let me choose, and so I chose the Fever series. So she sent me book 5 in the Fever series. This is Shadow Fever. If you have watched my lists for the year, on my 22 series I'd like to read from this year is the Fever series by Karen Marie Moning. And I was hoping that Janaea was going to do a read-along for this series this year because it is one of her favorite series. And she had talked about it, I think, last year in some of her vlogs when she was reading the last book in this series. And so I definitely want to get into this world. I read the first book in the series several years ago and really enjoyed it, but never continued because it was still publishing. And so I have all of the books in this series except for this one, at least in the first arc. And so I asked her for this one and she sent it to me, so really glad to have that. In regards to the Fever read-along, I think that is going to happen in July. So keep an eye out on Janaea's channel for that. I'll link her down in the description box below. Definitely go check out her channel. She does a lot of vlogs and tags and things like that. And I've been really enjoying her content over the last year. She's become a really great friend. And so, yeah, I wanted to share that with you. And then with this, she also sent me a cute little card. And inside this card, I won't show you the inside, but there were some stickers. So this one says, love # reading life. This one says, be happy. And then this one's a stack of books with a teacup. And then she also sent me this bookmark, which is a plexiglass bookmark, which is awesome. And then she also sent me this. And I had to message her about this because I wasn't sure what it was. I thought maybe it was like a finger spinner. So, you know, when you get bored, you can like fidget. But that's not what it is. So I also thought this might be like a self-defense type of thing where you could like hold it like this or hold it like this, you know, when you're going out to your car to protect yourself. But that's not what this is either, though I'm sure you could use it that way. This is actually a page holder. So you put it on your thumb like this and you hold the pages of the book open with one hand. So I thought that was awesome because sometimes I have bad pain in my hands and I'm not able to hold a book open without two hands. So this is going to be very useful. And so that's everything she sent to me. So thanks, Janaea, for sending me this awesome package. Thanks for holding a giveaway so that I could enter and win. And I'm really looking forward to the read-along of this series. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with all of you. Again, definitely go check out Janaea's channel. And that's pretty much all I have for today. So I'll be back with you in a bit to share with you some of the things I have read this week. So this week, there wasn't really anything going on. I thought I was going to have to go to the office, but that ended up not panning out, which probably means I will be going to the office next week. So we'll see about that, but other than that, I've just been working and I've been reading. I think at the end of last week's diary entry, I was still in the middle of Amy's 48-hour readathon, so I believe that prior to this you have already seen the spin for Amy's 48-hour readathon. It's been one of those weeks where it's kind of just been the same old, but that also means that every day feels like the same, if you know what I mean. So if I remember correctly, I have already shown you the spin for Amy's from A-Star Reads Game of Bookish Life 48-hour readathon to celebrate her 1,000 subscriber mark, and I've already shown you how I picked the book for that. So I did finish that book, and that book was Bury Me. So this is by K.R. Alexander. This is a middle grade horror book, so I am counting it not only for Amy's 48-hour readathon, but for middle grade May, which is being hosted by a bunch of my friends, Storm Reads, Dark Roots Creations, Lizzie Fayla's Books, and Soul Stain Inc. And I'm also going to use it for Horror Mayhem, which is hosted by my friends, the Bookish Bryants, because their readathon is for horror books under 250 pages, and this one chimes in at 211 pages. So that's really great that I was able to use this book for all three of those readathons. So this story really follows our main character, Kimberly, who happens to have an encounter with a doll that will not leave her alone. So this doll, when she first meets it, has on her dress the words, "Bury Me." And Kimberly and her friends do everything they can to try to get rid of this doll, including burying the doll. But the doll just keeps coming back, and they don't know why. They can't seem to get rid of it. So that's kind of like the main kind of mystery in this book. But there's also kind of an underlying mystery in this book, whereas people can't really remember things past a certain point in history in this town. And whenever Kimberly tries to ask somebody about the history of the town, she gets kind of weird remarks, and people kind of like go into some kind of strange trance when they're talking to her, and basically avoid her questions about it. They give her some kind of like plain kind of remark and kind of ignore her question, or it's just really weird, and they get this look on their face, and so she doesn't really get any answers to that. And so there's kind of a little bit of a mystery in that as well, with the fact that nobody really knows the history of this town. And even Kimberly herself, she knows that her dad left her mom, but she doesn't know like when that happened, why that happened, and she can't remember anything from prior to that. So there are a bit of a few weird things going on in this town, along with this doll that just keeps terrorizing her. So I actually ended up listening to this entire thing on audiobook, just because at the time that the 48-hour readathon was going on, it was one of those days where it was a heavy editing day for me, and my daughter was playing her video game on the living room television, and so while I was eating my lunch, I decided to go ahead and just pop in the audio, because I'm not the type of person that likes to read a physical book while I'm eating. It's just easier for me to pop in an audiobook, and so that's what I did, and I really enjoyed the narration. It definitely had a few creepy elements to it, especially with this doll that keeps coming back. And I think the way that the narration was presented really helped with the feeling and the ambiance of the book, and keeping me interested as an adult when I'm reading a middle grade novel. Now, granted, I'm an adult reading a middle grade novel, so there were a few things where I was just like, well, that doesn't make sense, and there's something that happens where one or two of Kimberly's friends, they kind of do something that's not really nice, and just a few pages later, it seems like she's forgiven them for what she's done without any kind of like explanation or apology. And I'm just like, I think at that age I wouldn't be that forgiving, even under the circumstances. So that part of the story really wasn't realistic for me, but it's a story, right? So I guess because it's also middle grade, you're kind of trying to have a little bit of a teaching moment as well, which I guess, forgiveness is the teaching moment there. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. I thought it was highly entertaining. I would definitely recommend this book if you're looking for something a little bit creepy but don't enjoy adult horror novels. This is excellent. So I am super glad that I finally checked out this author's work, and I have a bunch of them now, as you've seen. So I'm looking forward to getting into more of this author's work as the month goes by. So of course, as I'm filming, my neighbors have decided to start blasting their music, so I apologize if you hear any of that. I'm hoping that it's not too loud with my microphone and everything set up, because I would hate to have copyright issues, if you know what I mean. But now we're on to spin 4 of the 48-hour readathon, which is the last spin, so I will show that footage to you here.
You can through this. Okay, spin number 4. 1. Okay, that's easy. This is perfect for a readathon. This is a short book, under 300 pages. And if you'd like to step it up a little bit, this is going to be a middle grade because it's yellow. So it'll be a middle grade book that is under 300 pages. That is not too difficult. I hope it goes.
Okay, so the 4th spin was a book under 300 pages. A short book. So I immediately thought I was going to read a manga because, of course, I didn't finish all 4 of my volumes of Millennium Snow. So I decided to go ahead and read Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. So I didn't finish the readathon during the 48 hours, but I didn't think I was going to initially anyway. But I did end up finishing this entire series for the 48-hour readathon prompts. And so I'm really happy. This is a series that was on my priority reads for the year, so that is great as well. So I got something knocked off of one of my projects, which is great. This is a series that has also been languishing on my shelf for a while. So this is Millennium Snow by Bisco Hattori. This is the same mangaka who has done Ouran High School Host Club, which you're probably most familiar with. So this was her first series. So you can see that the covers for the first 2 volumes and the second 2 volumes are different. And there's a reason for that. She came up with the concept of Ouran High School Host Club after Volume 2. So when she had come up with the idea, the publishers kind of ran with it, and she wasn't able to finish out this series. So there was a 10-year gap in between Volumes 2 and Volumes 3. And I found it really interesting that in the side notes, we get some letters from Bisco, and she talks about that whole process and how her art style changed a little bit and what happened in between those 10 years and how, the creation of Ouran High School Host Club played into the delay of the finality of this series. And so all of that was so interesting to me. But this story basically follows a girl whose name is Chiyuki. And Chiyuki has had a heart condition since she was born, I believe. And so she's about 17 years old now, and she's kind of defied all of the odds, but she's still very fragile. And so she's at the hospital, and she sneaks out for a little bit of fresh air. She's still on hospital property, but she's not supposed to be out and about because, anything can happen to her. And so while she is getting some fresh air, she looks over and she sees a boy on the neighboring building, and she sees him jump off the building. And so she freaks out, and she goes into the forested area that's right on the edge of the hospital's property looking for him. And she finds him, and ends up that this kid that she saw jump off the building is a vampire. And his name is Toya. And so, in talking with him, they kind of get off on the wrong foot, if you know what I mean. Toya has not so nice a personality. And he's also got this, like, bat companion. And so, the bat companion is, like, trying to apologize for his master's sour attitude. But even though they kind of get off on the wrong foot, they have, like, chance encounters after that. And so Toya finds out that Chiyuki has this heart condition, and the bat companion is, like, telling Chiyuki that Toya needs to find a partner in this, like, vampire lore. The vampires need to find a partner by the time they turn 18 to have that, like, exchange, like I don't know how to explain it. It's like they have a partnership, so he will basically take blood from his human partner, and the partner in return will be granted a long life. So it could be up to 1,000 years. And so when Chiyuki finds this out, she obviously becomes interested because her life expectancy is not very long. And there are things that she wants to do. She doesn't want to just have her life end now. And so she kind of tries to make herself a candidate to become Toya's partner. But Toya doesn't want that kind of relationship with a human. He is very averse to drinking human blood. And so the series kind of follows Toya and Chiyuki and their exchanges in conversation and things that happen to them along the way, and how basically Chiyuki kind of warms Toya's heart, I guess you could say. I'm sure you all know this is a romance type of story just by looking at some of the cover art. And I'm sure you can all guess how this series ends. What the final, like, end scenes kind of are, just based on assumptions. But I actually really enjoyed this series. It was a nice fluffy read for me. There were a couple things in here that were kind of not so great. There is a childhood friend that comes into the picture, and he kind of restrains Chiyuki because he doesn't want her seeing Toya after finding out what Toya is. And all of those scenes were just kind of creepy, and they were to be totally triggering to somebody who's been in abusive relationships like that, where you have somebody who's restraining you or tying you up in the house. Just not a great thing to have happened. And even the mangaka talks about her kind of decision about drawing those scenes and how it wasn't a great decision to make. But yeah, those scenes were not great, especially with the whole kind of possession, overhanging theme of possession kind of going on in those scenes. I did not like those, but I did really enjoy seeing Chiyuki and Toya's relationship grow, and how, like, you can tell, like, when Toya kind of decides that he's not ready to let Chiyuki go, even though he's never really wanted to have any kind of relationships with humans. It was really interesting, but definitely not my favorite between this and Ouran High School Host Club. I definitely prefer Ouran. But I'm glad that I finally read this. And so, got one thing done for my project. I did the 48-hour readathon, so that was really fun, even though I wasn't able to finish it out during the 48 hours. I'm really not much of a, focused reader. And I think I've talked about this before when we did the haunted manga readathon back in October. I am not one that enjoys sitting down all day and reading. The material that I'm reading really has to be something special where I am just like, I don't want to put this down. And it's been very hard lately for me to find things that give me that feeling. So I normally don't participate in 48-hour readathons, but I will use the prompts and then spread it out over a week or however long to try to participate. But I really wanted to help Amy celebrate her 1,000 subscriber mark. And so I was glad to fit in a few things that I've been meaning to read for a while. Get in a couple things for several of the readathons that I'm participating in this month. And polish off something for one of my projects for this year. Because I have not done a great job about making sure that I'm reading to those lists and checking some of those things off. So I'm trying this month to kind of put a focus on getting a couple more things read, as you can tell from my TBR game for this month. So yeah, let's get into some of the things that I'm currently reading right now. So I did start Percy Jackson and the Olympians number 3, The Titan's Curse. So I'm supposed to have read this in March. Did not get around to it because my family is doing a read-along of this series. My mom has now finished book 3. She's on to book 4. My daughter's already finished books 3 and 4. So I am the one that's behind. I'm listening to this on audiobook during my lunch break from work. I am currently on chapter 14, page 199. So I am about there. I'm really enjoying this. I didn't remember as much from this book as I did the previous two, but I am still really enjoying it, though the hunters are getting on my nerves. I did not remember how much they got on my nerves, and Talia is also getting on my nerves. So I think that's probably why I'm not enjoying this one as much. Especially with the fact on how Grover's been acting with being around the hunters. I kind of feel like Percy's just kind of been left out to dry. But it's still interesting what's happening. And so I'm looking forward to getting more into this book. I probably won't touch this one until Monday, just because I usually have a lot of filming on Saturdays, which is today, the day that I'm filming this. And then I've got a lot of editing to do between Saturday and Sunday because, as you know, I do bulk film. But I am enjoying this. I'm looking forward to getting back to that one. And then I have also picked up Grey Walker by Kat Richardson. This is the first book in the Grey Walker series. This is for my TBR game this month. And I wanted to pick this one up because it is a thick book for me. This book comes in at 352 pages, so I knew it would take me a while to get through this one. I am currently on page 67, which is the start of chapter 9. So I've got a lot to go. I've only been reading about 20 pages a night, which is not great for me. I have noticed that I'm not really into this one right now. So I am either going to switch over to audiobook when I'm done with the Percy Jackson book, or I am going to hit my 100-page mark and then put this one down for a little bit because I'm just not into it, and with how my reading's been going, I don't want to further myself into my slump. And so, yeah, I have a 100-page rule for my TBR game. So I figure if I get to the 100 pages and I'm still not feeling it, then I am okay to put it down because that's a pass for my TBR game. So, yeah, I don't know. I remember when I had originally read this one a very, very long time ago, that I enjoyed this one, but the way that our main character is kind of acting at the moment is not jiving with me. And I know it's just a lot because she's just confused about what's happening to her, because the story follows a woman who has experiences death for about 2 minutes, and then when she comes back, she's kind of can step in between both the present and the ghostly worlds. And she's only where I am right now, kind of just gotten explanation of what she's experiencing, because up until a little bit ago she had no idea what's going on. So she's gotten an explanation now, but she's not ready to accept that. So at the moment she's just being really defiant, and I'm not enjoying that. But she's also just picked up a couple of cases. So there's a missing college kid whose his mother has hired her to find him, and then there's also an overseas kind of investor guy who's had an organ, not like a human like innard organ, but a musical instrument organ, stolen from him, and it's like an antique, and he wants her to find that for him. So hopefully those two cases, or at least one of them, will pick up, and I'll get distracted by her investigation as opposed to having her act out and be defiant all the time and just be not a nice person. I don't really remember her being like that when I read it the first time, but like I said, it's been several years, and yeah, I kind of really wanted to go further into this series, but as of right now, this is just not jiving with me. So it could just be me at this time, but I'm working on this one right now, and we'll see how that goes this week. So that's pretty much everything that I've read for the most part. Current plans for reading this week: get to that 100-page mark in Grey Walker, and then see how I feel, and maybe change out the books that I read. But we shall see. I am really wanting to pick up another one of those K.R. Alexander books, because I did enjoy that a lot. And so, yeah. Other than that, I thought it might be interesting to share with you some of the things my mom picked up for me this week. So, I have some blind bags here. I have already opened these. But these are Lego Muppets minifigures. So there's one minifigure in each bag. And so she purchased these for me. I've already opened them, but she also purchased me a few more. So I thought it would be fun to open these with you and see what we get. But let me show you what I've gotten so far. So I've already put these together. So they're little Lego figurines. You can see this is Honeydew, one of my favorite characters. And then we've got Fozzie Bear. And you can see that some of them come with little things. So there's a microphone and a banana. And then Fozzie Bear also came with a microphone stand. So that's really cool because, you know, Fozzie Bear likes to tell jokes. This one is Beaker. And Beaker comes with a little kind of, I don't know what, communicator or a reader or something. So that's Beaker. And they all come with this little like stand, so you can like stand them up. I've got the Swedish Chef. I have Rolf, You can see he's got the bust of a composer and a piece of sheet music. And then the last one I got is Kermie. You can see he's got his banjo and a rainbow, so for the rainbow connection. And so that's 6 of the 12. All 6 that I had gotten were all different, so that's great. So I have a few more. Don't know how many my mom picked up for me, but they're all in this bag. So I thought I'd open them up with you and see what we got. So let's give it a go. So we'll do bag number 1. So you can see they all come unassembled like this. And they all come with a little like pamphlet. But this is a repeat for me. It is Honeydew. So you can see all the pieces come unassembled like that. So that's a duplicate. Bag number 2. This is Lips. I call her Lips, but her name is Janice. So that is not a duplicate. So that's great. I'll put her together later. Bag number 3. Is a Swedish Chef. So that's a duplicate. Bag number 4. Is the Swedish Chef again. Lots of Swedish Chef, but that's okay. I like the Swedish Chef. He was definitely one of my favorites when I was growing up. Bag number 5. Or was that bag number 4? Don't remember. But this one is Fozzie Bear. So that's also a duplicate. So looks like my daughter will be getting some of these. I think that was bag number 4. So we'll do bag number 5 now. I've got so many of these bags. Another duplicate. This is Lips. And the last bag, bag number 6, is Ralph. So I got one new one. So that's great. And now my daughter will also have a collection. So yeah, I hope that was fun for you. I don't often get blind bags that I enjoy collecting. For a while there, a few years ago, they had the some keychain blind bags. They were like really huge sums, and I really enjoyed those, but they stopped doing those, and I'm a little bit sad about it, but these are cute, and my mom knows that I love the Muppets. Muppets have always been a favorite of mine, and so I'm really happy to have these. We'll definitely be picking up a few more of them, if not before the manga club meeting, after, when we're there. So I am excited that I get to spend money on these blind bags. So dumb to like be happy about, you know, something exciting like this, but yeah, I haven't had one of these in years where it was like a blind bag item that I was excited about purchasing. So, yeah. I'm excited about that. So I definitely want a Miss Piggy, and a Gonzo, and an animal. And I can't remember who else there was. But now I've got Janice. I think there might be something with Scooter. But it's not a Scooter figure, like Scooter's on a laptop. I don't remember. I know it shows on the little pamphlet that's included with those blind bags. But anyway, that's pretty much everything I've got for you today. I hope you have all had a great reading week. Let me know what readathons you're participating in this month, or what you've read this month. Have you had a favorite read of the week? I would love to know that as well. Also, let me know what you think of the new darker background. I have noticed recently that the last few videos I've been looking a little yellow, and I'm not quite sure if I like that. So let me know if you prefer the black background or the white background. I tried to wear something a little bit lighter so that maybe it doesn't like make me yellow, because I know it's my camera and the exposure. But yeah, let me know down below if you like the dark or the light background better. Let me know your favorite read of the week, what readathons you've been participating in, or if you have found a really terrible book. Started the month off with a terrible book. Let me know that as well, because, you know, unfortunately we can't all have weeks where we read awesome stuff. Unfortunately, I know that one too well. So I'm still hoping that I'm going to have a great reading month. So far, so good. And I hope that's the same for you as well. So if nothing else, you would just like to let me know that you were here. If you could leave me a rainbow emoji for the rainbow connection, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.